Had a chance to catch up with Purdue head coach Matt Painter. Let's take a listen to that right now.
All right, pleased to be joined by none other than Purdue head coach Matt Painter. And Paint, it's a hell of a win. I mean, listen, you've beaten a lot of really good teams over the last few years in the non-conference. You can add this one to the list, but nobody, probably myself included, I'll admit it, thought you were going to beat this Alabama team.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, listen, they're loaded. We know that. Like, they might be the deepest team in America. How did you do it?
Well, I think it started for us. They out-rebounded us by 2, but just for us to kind of hold serve, right? And then we only had 3 turnovers as a team. And, that was huge for us. Like, you got to be able to win the possession war. We were able to do that. We have a good team. The thing that you're trying to transition from having a great team. Can we grow into having a great team? Time will tell that, but I like our start, with 3 guys that have started on a Final Four team in Braden and Fletcher and Trey Kaufman-Wren. Those 3 guys, all 3 played well for us tonight. I like our young guys. We just have a good blend. We only have 1 senior in Caleb First, but we have a good blend. We have a lot of guys that can shoot the basketball. We have an elite point guard. Fletcher Lawyer's been tough as nails. He's really worked hard all summer. Trey Kaufman-Wren's put in a lot of time, and he gives us someone that we can go to inside. So we've had a really good balance, but our freshmen have really stepped up and played. CJ Cox was probably the difference in that stretch tonight of just making those 3 straight threes. Jakari Harris has been really good. Miles Colvin has really defended well. And that bodes well for him because he's a shot maker too. You get into games where people play you in a drop, and your guys that can shoot aren't going to get as many opportunities. But Braden's going to get more then. And so we're cool with that. We're cool. Even though he went 6 for 18 tonight, like, we encourage that. We really want him to be aggressive going against that drop and being able to play. And then when people hedge or people switch, his ability to create is going to open things up, and those guys are going to get more shots. But just a team effort, and obviously we have one of the best environments in the country. But I told our guys before the game, like, they don't help us if you don't play well. Like, they only help us. So they're not going to sit there and do things for us, but they can build that momentum, if we can get stops and string some baskets together and have a couple really nice runs during the game.
Obviously, you lose the big boy, the 2-time defending player of the year. Trey Kaufman-Wren tonight he wasn't Zach Edey, but he was damn good. He was damn good. And I don't know if anybody expected this. Did you? I mean, did he show you something tonight against Cliff Amore, one of the better defensive big men in the country?
Yeah, no, he's, and Cliff had the most success against him. They were a better team when Cliff was in the game. So getting him into foul trouble what was a big plus for us, because Cliff can change the game defensively. He causes a lot of problems. But yeah, no, we felt good about this. Trey not being a guy that was in position for people to really think that, he can go and have games like this. You're just not around our program. Like Zach's presence and everything. We need space with Zach. And like, you don't want to bring a guy around the basket as much. You want to space out and give him that room. So, you could run things for him and do different things for him if you want, but we just ran so much for Zach and we ran so much for Braden. Sometimes it's harder for other guys, especially if you're like him. So he knew, like, now I'm really going to have way more of an opportunity, once he leaves. And even though he plays the 4 some, he plays the 5 some for us. He splits that, especially with Daniel Jacobson getting hurt. So we expect this from him. He's worked really hard to be in this position. He's a good player.
Braden, I mean, he's got a lot on him this year. And I don't know if people thought he could handle all of this, right? Being the guy last year, you're Robin, right? You're Robin to Batman, who's pretty damn good. Now you're Batman. You're moving in that role. He does everything, doesn't he? Like, he just does everything you want as a coach, and he's kind of that quarterback out there too. You don't worry about.
Yeah, for our team to have 3 turnovers is amazing, but he has the ball in his hands a lot. and only have 1 turnover and 10 assists against that kind of athleticism and pressure is pretty impressive. He really didn't have that great of a game. Obviously, he was only 6 for 18 from three, but he controlled the game. And that's kind of like, the backbone of a player is like, what is your value when your shots are going in? And so like he rebounds, he gets past, he passes the ball, as well as anybody in the country, and makes big time plays. Just a great leader.
How much better do you feel about your team now? Because it's early and you don't know until you see it, right? And
Yeah.
you've seen it now. You've seen it with a win over a lot of people's number one team in the country. Like, how much better does that make you feel about your team? And maybe differently does it make you feel about this group?
Yeah, you just have to keep it in perspective. It's in one of the best environments in the country. And so it's still a great win and it counts, right? But you still have to keep things in perspective. When we got beat at Creighton in our exhibition, I said, we got 3 weeks before we play Alabama. If we're not better in 3 weeks, we're not beating Alabama. I think we've made some strides. I think our guys kind of see, through our game that we got to be a better rebounding team. But we can offset that if we take care of the basketball too. So like just getting ourselves in position where we can execute without turning the basketball over, but also embrace the physicality of the game. So there's no doubt it's growth. But we haven't played great in the games before this. And so it was a great sign. But what you want more than anything is like you just want them to collectively have confidence, like feel comfortable with Braden Smith running the show, feel comfortable when you isolate, Trey Kaufman-Renn or Fletcher Lawyers coming off of pin downs. And I think that's what it builds more than anything is just that inner confidence within our team.
Last question. Are you already sick of Hummel?
No, he's great. He's great. He does his homework, even though it's his alma mater. Like, you enjoy anybody that does their homework and knows your team and really promotes your league. Like he does a great job promoting our league, even though he works multiple leagues.
He does. No, he works hard on the golf course. There's no question about it. He works very, very hard on the golf course. Thanks, Pate. I appreciate it, man.
How's our guy Robbie Hummel feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I think Painter's sick of him. I mean, he's seen him twice already.